I am very happy to welcome Jim Watson to the program here to tell us about Sunday nights at the Copper Room. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so
it's wonderful to be here.
I see you're a drummer. You brought a drum with you, but you're not a drummer by yourself, right? You are a part of a jazz quartet. What all is involved with your quartet?
Well, so it's what I would call a traditional bebop quartet. We have a tenor saxophone, piano, bass, and drums. Upright acoustic bass, and we just play what's kind of traditionally known as hard bop music, and it's music by Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Thelonious Monk, Sonny Rollins. These are like big names in that side of the jazz world, and so we do that lexicon, the music, and most of it's really fast, and people really just dig on the excitement of it.
So what is the energy, the vibe? If it's fast music, I mean, who's coming in to listen to this music? Are you getting some new listeners? Yes, we get.
It's funny. There's kind of two camps, if you will. It seems like there's people that are not familiar with jazz at all, but they've heard about it. They come out, and after the maybe second or third week that they've been there, in a row, they'll come up to me and say, I never thought I liked jazz, but this is really exciting. I'm really getting into it. I'm really digging it. And so that makes me really happy. And then there's the other group of people kind of that are more hardcore jazz fans, and they've been to New York, they've been to clubs there, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and they say it's like, wow, this is really like a New York jazz club here. It's like an intimate setting, it's kind of a low ceiling, lights are low.
But it's Yucca Valley.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the Copper Room. So what's so unique about the Copper Room?
Well, the Copper Room has a really interesting history. It was built in 1957 originally by a doctor from Palm Springs. Let's get his name right here, Dr. John Bendel. And I guess he couldn't reach a patient out in Yucca Valley during a storm, and he was also a pilot, and so he decided he needed to build an airport out there. And at the same time, then along with the airport came the bar, the restaurant and bar. And so right at that time, in the late 50s, early 60s, the famous songwriter Jimmy Van Heusen, who's lived out here and lived in Yucca Valley, he would fly back and forth from Yucca Valley to Los Angeles and back for recording sessions and stuff, and then he'd come back to his home in Yucca Valley. And he wrote like lots of huge hit songs for Frank Sinatra. And so because of that relationship, he would get all his friends, he would fly them out to Yucca Valley, because he had a big house out there and wide open spaces. And so the Copper Room, which is really just right next to the runway, they had a pilot radio. And so when he would come flying in, before he landed, he would call the Copper Room, and like they would all make their drink orders.
Seems like the proper timing, yeah.
And so their martinis would be cold and waiting for them when they just walked off the plane and walked into the Copper Room. So it was a pretty swinging place. It was like, I was talking to the new owners about that, and they were saying that it was open 7 days a week from 7 in the morning to 2 in the morning.
Wow.
It was.
All right, well, let's go ahead and, can we jump to your drums? You said a swinging time, and so I really want to bring that here into the studio. Can you talk about, I guess, what is the drum in front of you and what you're about to do?
Sure, well, this is a Gretsch snare drum. It's a kind of a vintage drum. It's this was made in 1964, and it's very indicative of the kind of drum that those guys all used when they were playing this music back in the early 60s. And these are brushes, and so it won't be too loud. And so we'll be like, that kind of, so it's fast stuff, or you. that's the kind of music that we play.
That is fantastic. All right. Well, thank you, Jim, for being here so much. Everyone, you can see Jim Watson and the rest of his swinging jazz quartet.
That's right.
And that's on Sunday nights at the Copper Room in Yucca Valley.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Haley.